Welcome to the DevEMEA YouTube channel. In this video, I will demonstrate how OpenWRT can be installed on a network switch. The network switch that I am going to use is HPE Office Connect 1920-24G. The code name is JG924A. Although I consider this as a tutorial, I will not describe in detail what steps I did to install OpenWRT on this HPE network switch. Why is that? Because there is already a very well written article on this topic. That article is on OpenWRT wiki page, and as you can see on the screen, I was using that article to install OpenWRT. So this video, the whole point is more like a visual demonstration of which steps in the written guide correlate to which action that you should do on the computer. I will link the written installation guide in the description down below, and I also add timestamp to this video to connect the visual demonstration with the written guide. If you are already familiar with OpenWRT, then that's great. But if not, I can provide you some context. So OpenWRT is a very popular firewall and router Linux distro for embedded device. For example, the firewall and the router that you usually see from Netgear, from ASUS, from TP-Link, and etc. Most of them can be installed with OpenWRT. And if you want even more choice for your firewall and router box, it can be installed on an x86 platform like a computer from Intel and AMD, for example. That aside, OpenWRT can also be installed on a network switch, as I'm going to demonstrate here. So why? As of 2024, this network switch is already end of support. I'm not sure if this switch really has any vulnerability that is being actively exploited out in the wild or not, but compare something that has been end of life for a few years now with open source firewall and router platform that is still under active development like OpenWRT. To me, OpenWRT is way more trustworthy. Security aside, if I install OpenWRT on this network switch, it also brings me a unified experience, as in the user experience is consistent across many other network devices in my system too, because my other network devices are also installed with OpenWRT. But there's a downside. Depending on who you ask, it can be a very big downside. Because OpenWRT is an open source platform, it does not have support for all of the proprietary features of this network switch. So many things are not supported, at least out of the box, and at this point in time, because the developer has not worked on it yet. For example, the SFP port, they do not work. And also certain feature like LHCP, QoS, things like that, they are also not available out of the box. However, for my use case, I only need it to manage the VLAN and basic routing support for my DMZ. Then this switch is way more than capable. Considering the current state of OpenWRT support for network switch, I think this HPE network switch is a very good option. Not just this specific model, but more like the whole HPE Office Connect 1920 family, I would say. There are other variants like the 16 ports with and without PoE 28 port, something like that. And some of them also have OpenWRT support. When talking about the JG924A variant, this variant has 24 gigabit RJ45 network ports for SFP ports, although the SFP ports are not usable at the moment. This switch does not have PoE capability, so why is it a great choice for my use case? First, this switch consumes very little power, just a few watts in my use case. Depends on where you live. This may matter in the long run because the electricity costs can be really high in some places. Secondly, the number of network ports to price ratio is really good. In the US, a used network switch is only around $30 to $50 on eBay. Mine also come with a drag ear, so that is like a plus to me. This switch is also fanless, so there's no noise. And with no moving mechanical part, there is one less point of failure. If you have worked with a business or enterprise network switch before, you will know that a network switch with a failed fan may behave erratically. For example, it may refuse to boot without a fan, or it just produces a tons of error logs that just cluster the whole user interface. In most cases, the fans are not easily replaceable except for the hot swap model. That is because the fans use proprietary design with their proprietary pin connection. The next point is that this switch has a console port at the front. The way I mount my network switch is the front of the network switch is also the front of my rack, so it's easily reachable. But this point is more like it depends on how you mount the network switch. Also, a generic Cisco serial cable will work with this network switch, and that is a plus to me. The last point is that because this network switch has 4 SFP ports, then potentially in the future when OpenWRT support them, I can utilize the SFP port. That is all I want to say in this video, but the video is not ended yet though. From this point and toward the end, I will stay silent. Thank you for checking out my DevEMEA YouTube channel. Leave a like, share or subscribe if you find this video helpful. Have a good rest of your day.